Sonic Adventure was a game originally released for the Sega Dreamcast in 1998 and was later re-released on the Nintendo GameCube in 2003 and the Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3 in 2010 as Sonic Adventure DX. As Sonic's first real jump to 3D, Sega went big, adding 6 playable characters, all with their own stories, music, cutscenes, etc. Despite what some people say, this game still holds up really well and can be extremely charming despite its flaws. While consensus on the game has shifted a lot over the years, there is one thing that has remained a constant talking point. This guy. If there's one thing you've probably heard about Sonic Adventure, it's that Big the Cat sucks and his fishing simulator-centric gameplay style is terrible and barely functional. Ever since the game released, people have been very vocal about their hate for Big, all originating from this united anger and mockery of this section of Sonic Adventure's story. When I regained access to the game earlier this summer, as seen in my video right here, you should check it out, I finally played through Big's story to form my own opinion on it. Now that it's finished, I'm here today to tell you once and for all that Big the Cat is great and I love him and we were lied to! Okay, maybe I should wind back a bit and explain. I feel that it's probably important for me to mention off the bat that I was playing the DX version of Sonic Adventure on the Xbox 360. I don't know if that affects how Big's story works, but I know that the DX port changed a lot of stuff from the original Dreamcast release, so I thought it was worth pointing out. You can play the main stories in any order, but they do make you play Sonic's story first by default. After his story was done, I decided to play Big second, which I was honestly dreading. Everyone has shared their woes with this part of the game. I had heard that Big's story was slow, that the controls were clunky if not broken, and that it was just endlessly painful to get through in general. I was not looking forward to dealing with that for hours on end just to beat the game, but if I needed to do that, might as well do it early so I can enjoy the other stories later. Regardless, I tried to keep an open mind about the whole thing. The main plot of Big's story is that one night his best friend Froggy has a run-in with Chaos, the main villain of the game, causing him to gain Chaos's tail, eat Big's Chaos Emerald, and run off. Big takes off after him, fishing for Froggy wherever he finds him in an effort to save his Pollywog pal and figure out what's going on with him. Before you enter the first stage, and it is absolutely necessary that I point this out, Big has to pick up an entire car to get into the sewers. This made me laugh way more than it probably should have, but that's going to become a recurring theme for Big's story as a whole. Now finding himself in Twinkle Park, this is where the game finally kicks off. Big's stages center around one or more bodies of water that are filled with fish, with Froggy being somewhere in there as well. Catching Froggy is the main goal, but catching other fish can net you some points. There are some item containers and enemies surrounding the pool, but generally these areas are just closed off snippets of existing locations in previous stages. Full disclosure, I seriously struggled for a good chunk of the first level before figuring out what to do. The game doesn't really give many pointers off the bat, but you can learn how most things work by trial and error. This is the HUD you see when playing. After some lives were lost trying to capture Froggy, I realized that the bar on the right did not signify that I was reeling in the fish at maximum power, but that I was doing it too hard. It's a stress system with a balance to be struck, so holding down the button and waiting wouldn't be enough. After this revelation, catching fish became a process of checking 2 things at once. 1, if the bar was overloading or not, and 2, if the fish was pulling away, meaning I should ease up a bit. Maintaining both of these at once was sometimes intense, but pretty manageable. One feature I love that they included is that the game shows you how far out your line is, which gives you a rush of energy every time it gets closer and closer to Big. I had some trouble getting Froggy to get around the underwater steps, but eventually through enough trying, I captured Froggy in around 15-ish minutes total. Not bad for the first level, at least compared to what I had heard about it. Finally back in Station Square, I stopped by Mr. Know-It-All, some kid that gives you gameplay advice, to see if there was anything I was missing or that I could improve upon. He gave some tips that genuinely helped me understand Big's gameplay a little better. I know that this is not the most efficient way to get gameplay lessons across, but it's there, it's all in the game. Everything you need to know about how to play as Big exists in the game or can be easily inferred. Now on to level 2, this one shakes things up a bit by having you reveal the pond that Froggy is in instead of just having it be accessible from the start. Regardless, I was able to catch Froggy in about a minute or so. The rest of the levels continued on, following similar beats but shifting around a bit to fit the stages and the sense of progression. The more I played, the more I genuinely enjoyed what I was doing. I was getting pretty good at catching Froggy, so sometimes I'd go for some of the other fish or just explore the level past the pond. Most levels end with Big losing Froggy immediately after catching him through some shenanigans, which I guess is where the complaints of tedium come in, as you have to work to get Froggy and then watch Big lose him again a few seconds later. While I understand that complaint, it didn't really bother me at all. Far from it. For me, these cutscenes acted as a reward, a goofy little animation for your work to show how Big manages to get the status quo reset every time. Most of these are extremely funny for no reason too. The one where Tails has Froggy and Big runs up and belly flops in front of him absolutely killed me. It doesn't matter that he lost Froggy again. I was wheezing from laughter, and that's something I don't usually experience from games. After Froggy is stolen by Gamma, Big makes his way on board the egg carrier and ends up in front of Chaos 6, the final boss of Big's story. Despite my optimism up to this point, I was very nervous about this. I had no idea how they were gonna try to make fishing gameplay work in a boss fight. This sounded like a recipe for disaster, a mess in the making, a time eater to Big Sonic generation. With no more time left to worry, the boss fight had begun. I beat it in like 20 seconds. Yeah, all you have to do is hit Froggy with the hook and it's over. No reeling, just aim and you're good. Not only was I relieved to have my fears deconfirmed, but I had realized that the ending of Big's story was not about the challenge of the boss, but the thematic resolution of Big saving his buddy from the literal god of chaos. The two of them had been through so much at this point, but even when faced with impossible odds, Big wouldn't quit. It doesn't matter how many times Froggy gets taken, Big will always be there for his little buddy. And then Big steals the tornado and leaves. Like, he just takes it. It is hands down one of the funniest endings to anything I've ever seen, and I'm fully serious. And then to top it off, the game ends with a music video? It's just Big and Froggy hanging out and then him dancing? Big the Cat wins best video game story of all time. Everyone go home. Thank you. I lost it when this happened. I was already fully enjoying myself by this point, but this absolutely floored me. How could people hate this story? This is art! I don't want this video to just be another I'm right and your opinions are bad and invalid kind of thing. I know Big's gameplay isn't for everyone. It isn't even really for me. I'm not a fan of fishing games, but I still got a ton of enjoyment out of it, and that's what I want to focus on. Big's story's been surrounded by constant hate for over 20 years, to the point where it's just expected for you to hate it because that's the joke. My goal with playing it myself was to keep an open mind and see if it was really as bad as I had heard, and it wasn't. It was fun, it was comedic, it was heartfelt. I would have missed all of this if I continued to believe what I saw online instead of trying it myself. And I'm honestly a little mad that I let myself believe that for so long without questioning it. There's no getting around the utter goofiness of it. This is basically a Saturday morning cartoon that acts as a breather from all the more action-focused stories. But intertwined with that goofiness is heart. Big's story isn't meant to be as serious as Sonic's or Gamma's. It's just fun, and if you go in with an open mind, maybe you'll be able to enjoy it as much as I did. I look forward to seeing the big guy back in action in Sonic Frontiers, doing what he does best. Being the best character of all time, baby!